Imagine if every fall was a chance to rise higher. If every storm was the birthplace of clearer skies. Challenges, they're not obstacles, they're opportunities. They're not walls, they're windows. And growth is what happens when we see the cracks as doorways to something greater. Life. It's wild, isn't it? Sometimes it feels like you're standing in the middle of a storm with no umbrella, just you, the rain, and the hope that it won't last forever. And then there are those moments that feel like free fall, like the ground beneath you has disappeared and all you're left with is the fear of the unknown. We've all been there. But what if those storms weren't here to drown you but to teach you how to swim? What if every fall wasn't the end, but the beginning of your rise? Because that's the beauty of a growth mindset. It doesn't ask you to avoid the messiness of life. It asks you to embrace it, to lean into the discomfort and trust that on the other side, you'll be stronger, wiser, better. You see, growth isn't about being perfect or fearless or immune to pain. It's about being resilient. It's about seeing every challenge as a chance to learn, every misstep as a part of the journey. Because here's the truth. The cracks in your story are not your weakness. They're the places where light enters. The storms you've weathered don't define you, they refine you. And the falls? They're not failures. They're the moments that teach you how to rise. So today, let's reframe how we see life's hits. Let's stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what's this teaching me? Because life isn't a dodgeball game where you just avoid the hits. It's a dance. A chance to move with the rhythm, to adapt, to grow. If you're ready to turn your struggles into stepping stones, your fears into fuel, and your setbacks into comebacks, then you're in the right place. Let's embrace the cracks, the storms, the falls, and let's grow together. Growth isn't handed to us on a silver platter. It's carved into the moments we'd rather avoid, the failures we wish we didn't face, the setbacks that feel too heavy to bear. But what if every challenge was an invitation, not to step back, but to step in? What if the struggle wasn't the end, but the soil where your next breakthrough begins? Take Thomas Edison. He didn't just invent the light bulb, he reinvented failure itself. After thousands of unsuccessful attempts, someone asked him how it felt to fail so much. Edison didn't flinch. "I didn't fail," he said. "I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work." This wasn't blind optimism, it was strategy. Edison knew that each setback was a step forward, as long as he kept going. And then there's J.K. Rowling. Before she created the magical world of Harry Potter, she faced 12 rejections. 12 publishers told her no. Imagine hearing over and over, "This isn't good enough." Most people would have stopped there. But Rowling didn't see rejection as a wall. It was just a detour. Today, her story is a reminder that persistence is its own kind of magic. Here's the thing. Edison and Rowling aren't magical exceptions. They're proof of what's possible when you refuse to let setbacks define you. They saw challenges as fuel, not barriers. And if they can do it, why not you? It's not about being fearless or flawless. It's about reframing the story you tell yourself. Take athletes, for example. They don't quit after an injury. They recover, they learn, they come back stronger. Look at Serena Williams. Countless comebacks after injuries and setbacks, and she still dominated. Or Michael Jordan, who famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've failed over and over and over again, and that is why I succeed." Edison, Rowling, athletes, artists. These stories aren't just inspirational, they're roadmaps. They show us that success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about building on it. And here's the thing, they didn't just endure challenges, they reframed them. Reframing is the ability to take a situation that feels like a dead end and see it as a turning point. It's about choosing the questions we ask ourselves when life doesn't go as planned. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger? These questions shift the focus from what's lost to what's possible. They create space for growth where there was only frustration. Think of it this way: setbacks are like cracks in the pavement. At first glance, they seem like flaws, but given time, those cracks can become places where new life emerges. Grass grows, flowers bloom. Cognitive reframing allows you to see those cracks differently, not as imperfections, but as opportunities. Let me put it another way. When life throws you off balance, when the job doesn't pan out, the relationship ends, the plan falls apart, you have a choice. You can see it as proof of failure, or you can see it as a lesson. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending things are fine. It's about shifting from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this teaching me?" Because every stumble has the potential to spark wisdom. Every rejection can redirect you to something greater. Growth isn't linear. It's the climb after the fall. It's the courage to start again, to see the lesson instead of the loss, to build strength where there once was struggle. Every no has a purpose, every crack has a story, and every challenge is a chance to become more than you ever imagined. So the next time life feels like it's testing you, remember this: challenges aren't here to break you, they're here to shape you. Reframe them, embrace them, use them. Because growth doesn't just happen to you, it happens through you when you choose to see every setback as a stepping stone. What if I told you that breaking isn't the end, it's the beginning? That the cracks in the armor aren't signs of weakness, but proof that something new is forming underneath? There's a name for this transformation, a way to describe the beauty in the breaking, the strength that rises from stress. It's called antifragility. Antifragility. It's a word you don't hear every day, but it's a game changer. Coined by philosopher Nassim Nicholas Taleb, antifragility describes systems that don't just survive stress, they thrive because of it. Let me break it down. Think of muscles. Every time you lift weights, tiny fibers in your muscles tear. It sounds damaging, right? But those micro tears are the key to strength. Your body repairs the fibers, making them stronger, more resilient than before. Or consider bones. When you bear weight, the stress triggers your bones to grow denser, tougher, harder to break. It's the same with forests. After a controlled fire, the soil becomes richer, the trees grow taller, the ecosystem rejuvenates. Even plants know this. They bend, they sway, but they don't fall. Instead, their roots dig deeper, anchoring them more firmly into the earth. Stress doesn't destroy them, it makes them stronger. Here's where it gets interesting. Antifragility isn't just something that exists in nature, it's something that exists in us. Think about your own life, the challenges you faced, the struggles that pushed you to your limits. Didn't they leave you stronger in some way? Wiser, more prepared for what came next? It's like kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The cracks aren't hidden, they're highlighted. The break isn't erased, it's transformed into something more beautiful, more valuable than before. Kintsugi teaches us that what's broken isn't ruined, it's refined. The process of repair doesn't just restore the object, it elevates it. And that's anti-fragility in action. It's not just bouncing back, it's bouncing forward. It's growth through challenge, strength through struggle. Here's the truth: stress isn't always the enemy. When we face small, manageable challenges, our minds, our bodies, our very beings adapt. We grow tougher, smarter, more capable. But it's not just about enduring stress, it's about learning from it, using it. Like fire refining metal, stress can transform us, but only if we approach it the right way. That's the key. Anti-fragility doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice, a practice, a mindset. So how do we cultivate anti-fragility in our own lives? It starts with reframing how we see stress. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of running from challenges, lean into them. But here's the important part: start small. Think of it like strength training. You don't walk into a gym and lift the heaviest weight you see. You start light, let your body adapt, then increase the load. Life is the same way. Start with the little things. Speak up in a meeting even if your voice shakes. Try a new skill even if you're scared to fail. Step into discomfort, just enough to stretch yourself. Every time you do, you're building resilience. You're training your mind, your heart, your spirit to thrive under pressure. Antifragility isn't about being invincible. It's about being adaptable. It's knowing that storms don't last forever, but the strength you gain from weathering them does. It's not about avoiding stress, but understanding how to use it, to build deeper roots, to repair with gold, to emerge better than before. Challenges, when approached with intention, don't just leave you standing, they leave you stronger. And that's the heart of anti-fragility. It's the realization that you are not fragile. You are not defined by what breaks you. You are defined by how you rebuild, how you rise, how you thrive. So the next time life tests you, remember this. The cracks are not your breaking point. They are your blueprint for something greater. You are not just surviving. You are growing, adapting, evolving. You, my friend, are anti-fragile. You've heard the stories. You've seen the principles in action. But here's the thing about growth. It doesn't just happen. It's not a theory or a wish. It's a practice, a choice, a daily commitment to lean into the challenge, to find the lesson in the struggle, and to keep moving forward, even when it's hard. So how do we take everything we've talked about, the growth mindset, anti-fragility, and make it real? How do we go from theory to practice? It starts with the questions we ask ourselves. When life throws you a curveball, and it will, it's easy to spiral into why me? We've all been there, right? But what if, instead of asking why me, you asked, what is this teaching me? How can I come out better on the other side? Take this, you bomb a job interview. The old mindset would say, I'm not good enough. But with a growth mindset, you pivot. You think, this is a chance to refine my skills. What can I improve for next time? Or picture this, you're a parent trying to juggle it all and nothing seems to go as planned. Instead of thinking, why is everything so hard? You pause, you breathe, you say, this is teaching me patience. I'm learning how to adapt. It's subtle, but those shifts, they're powerful. They're the difference between feeling stuck and moving forward. Growth starts with the questions you ask, but it doesn't end there. It's in the habits you build, the moments you take to reflect, the tools you use to train your mind, to see the world through a different lens. Let's talk about journaling. It's one of the simplest but most powerful tools for cultivating a growth mindset. Every night, take a moment to ask yourself, what challenge did I face today? What did I learn from it? It doesn't have to be profound or perfect. Just write, reflect. Let the act of putting pen to paper give you clarity, because sometimes the lessons we miss in the moment become clear when we slow down and look back. And then there's affirmations. Words have power. The things we tell ourselves shape how we see the world and how we see ourselves. I am more than my challenges. Each step I take forward, no matter how small, is proof of my strength. Every experience I face is shaping me into the person I'm meant to be. I am growing, evolving, and thriving. Try it. Speak life into yourself. Even if it feels awkward at first, those words will plant seeds in your mind, seeds of resilience, courage, and growth. Visualization is another game changer. Close your eyes. Picture yourself in the middle of a challenge, something that feels overwhelming. Now, imagine overcoming it. See yourself as the stronger, wiser version of you on the other side. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about training your brain to see what's possible, to believe in your ability to grow. Now let's take it a step further. Let's talk about the anti-fragile lifestyle. If you want to grow, you have to embrace small stressors, manageable challenges that stretch you just enough to build resilience. Start small, speak up in a meeting, even if your voice shakes. Try something you've never done before, even if you're not great at it. Take a cold shower. It's uncomfortable, but it trains your body and mind to adapt. Growth lives on the edge of discomfort. It's in those little moments when you lean in instead of pulling back, when you step out of your comfort zone and discover just how strong you really are. Because growth isn't static, it's dynamic. It's in the risk of trying, the courage to fail, and the decision to get up and try again. Anti-fragility isn't about living without fear. It's about living in spite of it. It's knowing that every step outside your comfort zone is a step toward becoming something greater. So here's your challenge. Start small, start today. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to stretch myself? How can I use this moment to grow? Because growth isn't something you wait for, it's something you practice. And the best part, every little step adds up. Every journal entry, every affirmation, every time you lean into discomfort, it's building you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You are capable of so much more than you realize. So take the first step, and then the next. Because the road to growth isn't a straight line, it's a series of moments. Moments where you choose to rise. This is your journey, your opportunity to grow, to thrive, to become anti-fragile. So when the challenges come, and they will, don't step back, lean in, because growth isn't about what happens to you. It's about what you do with it. Remember, you're not a fragile glass, shattered by the fall. You're a phoenix in the ashes, rising to answer the call. The challenge isn't the end, it's the fire that forges steel. Growth isn't comfortable, but it's the most human thing to feel. Every scar is a story, every stumble is a spark, and every time you rise again, you light up the dark. The next time you're faced with a challenge, I want you to remember this. You're not breaking, you're becoming. Every crack, every fall, every storm, it's all shaping you into something stronger, something greater. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are the lessons you've learned. You are not defined by the moments that tested you. You are defined by how you rose to meet them. Every time you rise, you redefine what's possible. Not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Because growth mindset isn't just an idea, it's a superpower. It's the courage to try, knowing you might fail. It's the resilience to keep going, even when it feels impossible. It's the belief that no matter how hard it gets, you are built for this. So when life gets tough, and it will, don't step back, lean in, don't ask, why me? Ask, what's next? Because every challenge is a chapter, and your story isn't done. This is your journey, your evolution, your chance to rise again and again. So here's your reminder, you are resilient. You are capable, you are becoming. And whatever challenge lies ahead, know this, you are built for it. Lean into the discomfort, embrace the growth, because you, my friend, are unstoppable.